Well, I'm very pleased now to welcome to the programme the well-known Israeli singer Noah. She was a contestant representing Israel in 2009. She has often used her platform to speak out against Israel's treatment of the Palestinians, both in the occupied West Bank and in Gaza. She joins me live on the programme. Noah, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Look, it was in December last year that you said that Israel should, and I quote, sit out this competition because of the pain that Israel is living through in the wake of October 7th. But also you said because of the catastrophic suffering of Palestinians. Do you still believe that Israel should not be competing this year?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If it were up to me, then Israel would sit this one out. I want to say that I also said at the time that I'm against cultural boycotts of all sort. I don't think that is the place to protest. I think art should always be allowed to express freely a voice, an opinion. Artists come as themselves. They don't come speaking in the voice of governments. Governments come and go. Countries remain. And I am, again, always against cultural boycotts. Having said that, I think that my own country, if it were up to me, should have sat this one out in order to express solidarity with the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people suffering in Israel and in Palestine, our neighbors. This is not a time, in my opinion, to be on this specific stage with sequins and feathers. It is a time to be quiet, to come into ourselves and to go through a healing process with ourselves and with our neighbors on the way to peace. Hopefully we will achieve peace. I believe peace is possible. And then coming to the Eurovision will be a celebration, as Eurovision should always be.
Well, let's just talk about this year then. You say that you don't believe in a cultural boycott. So what's your reaction then to countries like Spain, Iceland, the Netherlands, choosing not to attend because of what Israel's doing? Do you think that's the wrong call?
That's their choice. I said I'm against cultural boycotts. I think that artists always are the natural allies themselves. Artists in the artistic expression, who an artist is, what they do, are the allies of humanism, of open-mindedness, of freedom of expression, from equal rights, equal opportunities, equal obligations. All of these things that are in the human family are expressed through art in this or that way. I'm against artistic boycotts. I respect the choice of these countries. I don't think that Eurovision is the platform to express this kind of objection. As I said, it should come from Israel, not from outside. That's my personal opinion. At the same time, I'm very much part of the movement that is opposed to the war in Gaza, opposed to the actions of the Israeli government, opposed to the Israeli government in general, also opposed to Hamas, opposed to terror, opposed to terrorists, opposed to extremists, and believing in the ability of people to find common ground, to compromise, and to reach agreements through dialogue and diplomacy, not through violence. This is my position, has always been, and most artists hold that position, if not all. I again say, culture and art is not the platform for this kind of objection, in my opinion.
And look, your perspective on this is really interesting because you yourself were a contestant. You represented Israel in 2009, along, it has to be said, with a Palestinian citizen of Israel, another singer. Her name is Mira Awad. Let's perhaps just listen to a clip of the two of you performing then at Eurovision.
Sure.
And we heard it there. Look, the song was called There Must Be Another Way. It was a different context, obviously, wasn't it? But we were in the aftermath of another war. There had been the 2008-2009 Gaza war not long before you sung that. So I wonder what the atmosphere felt like then. Was it as sort of tense as it clearly is this year?
Well, not like this year. We're off the radar right now with what's going on in the world in general, and also between Israel and Gaza and the Palestinians. At the time, there was a lot of tension. Mira Awad and I were accused of being a fig leaf And what we said is that the role of artists is not to reflect reality. We know reality is difficult. We're not trying to beautify what is ugly, but we are trying to throw a vision into the future, present an alternative, and then pull people to come with us to this different place. That's what artists can do and should do if at all possible. When I was chosen to represent Israel in the Eurovision, I insisted on having Mira Awad, my amazing colleague, come with me. I insisted on writing the song "There Must Be Another Way," which would have been technically very appropriate for this year's Eurovision. It was appropriate at the time, and I'm proud to say that it's still being taught in schools and performed in various occasions, and both Mira and I are very, very proud of it, and we continue to work together to this day for peace.
Noah, it's been so good to talk to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us here on France 24. You've been hearing there from Noah, Israel's Eurovision co-competitor in 2000.
I would like to say something.
Oh. Let's see if we can bring our guest
just
back
one
up.
more thing.
Please go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to wish the best of luck to all the contestants of Eurovision. It's a great celebration of music and humanity, which I think we can all and should all take part of. And second, I would like to say that Mira Awad and I have initiated a festival in Florence called Reimagine Peace, where we invite Israelis and Palestinians and the general public to join us for 3 days of total immersion in the possibilities of communication and dialogue, organizations, artists, speakers, movies, panels. It really will be an amazing event, and it will not only be in Florence. We will take this show on the road around the world. I feel that the flag of peace is never raised nowadays. Everything is polarization and violence, and peace, this incredible message, should have a voice in the public dialogue and the public conversation. And I'm very proud to be raising it together with Mira Awad and all the people involved in Reimagine Peace. And so you're all invited July 10 to 12 in Florence, Italy.
Well, we are so pleased to have you on the programme to preach your message. Thank you so much. As I say, that was Noah, Israel's Eurovision competitor for 2009.